Argentina played rugby. They played Tonga in a game that was certainly rugby. A fair amount happened. Nico Sanchez heard a fair appraisal of his form this year. Carrera snapped this lovely interception. And Talusa Vianu showcased why he's so vital for this Tonga team as he finished this chance where most players would just get mullered, but instantly, running scored a try, and then brilliantly snuck in for a second in one of the best finishes of the World Cup so far, taking a lovely slip pass from Kubaruna. However, Vianu only scored 2, like the chump he is, because the true hero of the day was a man who proved all of us right, because the top try scorer of the 2019 Rugby World Cup after 20 games is, just as we all expected, Argentina hooker Julian Montoya. Montoya pulled off one of the front row miracles I'd wished for before the tournament. Having already scored once against France, he nabbed a second early on against Tonga, then a third slightly later on, and then just before half time, he scored his 4th try in 2 games. Montoya became only the second front rower to ever score a hat-trick in a World Cup after Keith Wood in 1999. People wondered if Argentina would regret leaving deadly finishes such as Imhoff and Cordero off their flight to Japan, but it turns out they've got no such issue because they have the legend that is Julian Montoya. South Africa met neighbours Namibia halfway around the world for a game I honestly really don't feel like talking about. This match immediately followed Japan's amazing win over Ireland, and I honestly just kind of spent the game with a few of me thinking of puns that might describe how good Kazuki Himeno was. I have no real interest in revisiting it, and you can't make me. As I remember, South Africa scored a bunch of tries. Namibia didn't do much, but they frustrated them in places. Cleveland Loubser continues to actually kind of impress me after always looking a bit meh when I watched Namibia in the past. And I think Quagga Smith scored 2. Did Quagga Smith didn't? Quagga Smith didn't. Okay, never mind. Let's move on. My boys Uruguay then face a pretty tough turnaround as they were forced to face Georgia just days after their incredible win over Fiji, which for me still game of the tournament so far. This was unfortunately a far more straightforward affair. As is now their MO, Uruguay made Georgia work for it and showcased how classy they can themselves be in a few neat passages of play. Have a look at their try. Uruguay clearly took their time either side of just being magnificent to watch what Wales did to Georgia a few days earlier. Wales scored twice off this one move against Georgia, and Uruguay just trolled them by running it a third time. Because the Georgians all love mauling, they commit hard, even when there's no real maul to work on, even when the ball's out of there, leaving an inside line for Silva to slide right through and then put Andres Villaseca in for the try he deserves this World Cup. However, the Georgian addiction to randomly battering other men did come in handy, as not even the majesty of could match the sheer power of the Georgian pack. They just battered their way through the middle of Uruguay like the Brazilians in 1864. It was one of those games where not much analysis is needed. Uruguay were knackered and Georgia were massive. Not all smiles for Georgia though, as Absentadze achieved the kind of first nobody wants. Ladies and gentlemen, this kick from the fly half so young the number on his back is probably his age was the first conversion Georgia have ever missed in a Rugby World Cup match. Georgia qualified for their first World Cup in 2003. They nailed 1 out of their 1 conversions, 100% record. 2007, huge improvements, 5 out of 5, including one that had them ahead against Ireland before it was cool. Then, 2011, 2015, they had Mero Kevakashvili kicking, so obviously the record was perfect because he is. Georgia were then 16 from 16 over 5 World Cups leading into this kick, and honestly, him missing it took the shine off the win. They might as well have let Uruguay have it, won it, taken a second glorious win. Useless. Absolutely useless. This useless teenager excelling at Test rugby and being generally remarkable despite being still about 4 years old. Absolutely useless. I have just arrived in Oita, or let's call the whole thing off. And I'm stood in front of this giant monument to Breeze Patch, I presume, because it's ginger. Which is magnificent. This is wonderful. I love this. I tried to record one of these slightly earlier because the train I just got on to get here also carried the entire Tonga team, and I tried to record one with those guys in the background, but you couldn't really see it and you couldn't hear anything, just the noise of it being a train. And it was also about 4 seconds long because I tried to record it very discreetly because, talking in public in Japan. I kind of love this. This is great. So yeah, that was another roundup. I've got another one coming up possibly later today, probably tomorrow. I'm trying to work for as many of the games built up in the backlog as possible. And I will see you, and that boy will see you very soon for more rugby. Cool, good, bye.